Dear Diary, it's been a few weeks since I got my first managerial job at Banbridge Town, and on field things have been great. We are yet to lose a game, but pre-season is over, and we take on the Cops in my first competitive game. They are predicted to finish 8th in our league, so it's a good chance to see where we stand early. Let's hope nothing happens on the pitch that leads to an arrest. Off field things are a bit trickier. Signing players here is difficult. They all want appearance fees and we can't afford that as our wage budget is being used on Connor Downey. Midfielder attacker come physio. Actually a better physio than he is a player. We might need to make like that Zealand bloke and look for loans to try and improve the squad. Anyway, me and Teddy have a big day ahead tomorrow, so it's time to cuddle up and catch some Z's. Until next time. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of FMOE here on Shaun Does FM, and coming up today at Banbridge Town we play our first game competitively in charge of the club, and it is against the Cops here in Northern Ireland in the first round of the League Cup. We'll also have a bit of an update on what we have done transfer wise and also show you guys the tactic we are going to use this season as well, at least in the early stages. So if you are looking forward to this episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But as we showed you guys through that intro, we have played the pre-season off the back of getting this job in yesterday's episode. If you missed how we got here, I'll leave a link to that one over in the top right corner. We are unbeaten throughout pre-season, which is quite encouraging, albeit against teams who are not in playable leagues. Today is a real acid test for us to see if that pre-season has been worthwhile, as we do take on PSNI, otherwise known as the Police Service of Northern Ireland. It's also their first game as well at a new stadium in the Dub in Belfast. It's certainly a game that those guys are going to be up for, but they are predicted to finish 8th on the season preview. So a good chance for us here to potentially just see. In fact, it's 9th and we've now jumped up to 11th, but nonetheless a good chance for us here to just see where we could actually land in terms of these other teams in our league for the upcoming season. But we have done a couple of transfers off the back of that first episode yesterday. As we said, we probably were going to do, as mentioned in the intro though, it's been really tough actually getting players to sign for us here at Banbridge Town. And that is because these days in FM, they do want quite a bit of appearance fee money at semi-professional clubs, and all of our wage budget was being used on Connor Downey, seeing as he is a decent left-winger come striker, as well as the best physio we can get without a shadow of a doubt. We have looked to see if we can upgrade in that area, as well as the rest of the staff. He is by far the best physio available, so just for that alone, it's probably worthwhile keeping him at the club. We signed one player on a free transfer that was in one of our problem areas that we did discover when we had a quick look at the squad in yesterday's episode. That is Mark Johnston. He is a left back out of Northern Ireland, 24 years old. He is going to play for us as a wing back on that left hand side. In terms of crossing and dribbling and passing, it's not very good, but his other attributes are okay enough. 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential for this level. However, he's probably a player we would like to let go as soon as possible, because if we have a look at his contract, we are having to pay him £100 per appearance fee, £20 for a clean sheet bonus, which I don't mind, and also £10 for an unused substitute fee. That is a lot of money for this level, and it has meant we have been unable to get any more players into the club to sign for us here at Banbridge Town. So these days you do need to give players quite decent appearance money if you are going to get them to join you, and because of that we haven't been able to sign as many of the trialists that we have had come through the club as I would have liked, and that does mean it looks like we're going to have to go and look at loans for this upcoming season. As you can see, on the day before this game, we did get a couple over the line. The first of those, Jack Steers, comes to us from Liversedge. Over in England, he is 27 years old from England, a centre-back who can hopefully provide a little bit of extra squad depth in that position and might even start alongside Snodden once he does recover from his injury, but he is out for this first game, so definitely a useful addition for this first game in the League Cup. And alongside that, the other player who we have signed on loan is Charlie Doyle. He comes to us from Warrington Rylands, which is also in England. He is more of a midfielder come defensive midfielder who can provide us with a little bit of bench depth in that area. It's actually one of our stronger areas in the squad, as you would have seen in yesterday's episode. Our midfield does look quite good centrally, and he gives us just that little bit of extra cover in that position. So it does mean we've got a few new players here to the club, but from what we showed you guys towards the end of yesterday's episode, things haven't changed too much in terms of personnel at the club. The only new players who do make their way into our first 11, Jack Steers at centre-back with that injury to Dylan Snodden, and as well as that, we do have Johnston starting at left-back. There are still certainly a few problem areas I would like to improve in. Right-back, right wing, left wing, and striker, albeit left wing can be fixed once we do get an extra striker, because Connor Downey is quite a good left winger, but that does mean we have gone into the loan market for those players and put some bids in from some of the top clubs in Northern Ireland in the top tier, and hopefully we get some good young promising players. Even though we can't quite tell how good those players are, they should hopefully arrive by tomorrow's episode, and we can improve the overall depth of the squad, because as you can see, quite a few areas there where we do look quite weak. But we are going to play a wing play 4-4-2 for the early stages of this save. We have just made one change. Instead of playing a low block, we have changed it to a mid block. Just not that keen on playing a low block style, and we'll see how that goes through the early stages of the season. But apart from that, it is pretty much a preset wing play tactic, and this is what our starting 11 does look like. Hunter in goal. We've got Campbell, Steers, Anderson, and our new signing Johnson at the back. Of course, Steers in on loan as well. Gawley and Alves are the wingers. As I said, those are areas we could definitely improve. In our strongest area, I would say, is the central midfield. Cowan is a ball-winning midfielder, and Og Gallagher as a box-to-box. And then we've got two strikers. McKevitt as the deep-lying forward. Very, very good striker at this level. And alongside him is Connor Downey. Usually, I would say he's a bit more of a left winger than he is a striker, but with our injury situation at the moment, with the likes of McGrath also being injured, he is going to go up front alongside McKevitt. And our bench, we do have cover in most areas down there, and that does include the new signing on loan in Charlie Doyle. So not the greatest amount of squad depth, certainly not as much as I was hoping I would get by the time we did come back for today's episode, but hopefully we sort that out tomorrow, now that we have realised loans are a little bit easier than actually getting players to their semi-pro clubs on Football Manager 2023. And hopefully we can pick up a good result here, beat the Cops, which is something I don't think I can say in a polite way, but we can say it in this save because we are playing a Cop football team, and that should give us a little bit of confidence if we can beat them going into the league season. As you saw before during the intro, they are just above us in terms of the season preview in our division, so a win here away from home might mean that we just get some confidence that we won't end up in a relegation battle like the bookies do suggest. But we'll come back shortly and play our first game in charge here at Banbridge Town. It is in the League Cup as we take on the Northern Ireland Police. And we actually have TV coverage for this first game, or some form of coverage for it. There are the Police. They are playing quite a narrow system, kind of a 4-3-3, and there we are with our 4-4-2. Hopefully, time for us here to smash some Cops on the football field. And 8 minutes into this one, we have our first highlight. We are going to sideline view for this save. Things got a little bit glitchy with the director cam on the Liverpool beta, and it is the Cops in the green with the black shorts. We are in the red and black stripes with the white shorts, and we get on the attack. There is Alves, lovely ball in there for McKevitt. That is the start that we were after. Stephen McKevitt, our star striker, gets us off the mark in a competitive game, and we take the lead here. 1-0, nice and early. Good work there from Og Gallagher on the counter-attack. Alves in there with a simple ball from McKevitt. Pretty much had to put that on a plate for him. Rockets that to the top right corner, and we grab an early 1-0 lead. And our next highlight comes at the 20-minute mark. It's a corner here for the Cops. They put that one into the mixer. Just thinking about things, haven't actually set up set pieces yet, so it's probably something I might do off the back of this highlight, but the Cops do knock the ball about here on the edge of the box. Hopefully, we can hold on, though, to our 1-0 lead, which we did build up nice and early. Watts there with a header, but thankfully, that is pretty safe into the path of Hunter, and it looks like it's going to stay 1-0 here in favour of Banbridge Town nice and early, and that's a good little cutout there from Cowan. Now, good chance here for Downey, gets a shot off, but a good save there from Hegan to keep it at 1-0, and we have a highlight off the back of that, and now Downey did have the ball. It goes out for yet another corner, still 1-0 Banbridge Town. And after a number of corners which did not amount to nothing, we do have a throw in here inside the final third. Campbell puts this far post. Alves could have jumped for that to try and get a shot off on goal, didn't try, but Gallagher here with a long range strike was trying to pick out that top right corner. It kissed the top netting and still 1-0 at the half-hour mark. And with a few minutes to go in the first half, it is the Cops here who are on the attack, but some good work there from our defenders. Johnston, who did pick up a yellow card, so that's something we might need to deal with here as we go into half-time, but we do get that up now to Downey inside the box, picks out Gawley there from a tight angle. He also tries to put that in the top corner. It goes just over the bar, and we do enter injury time here in the first half of this first game in charge. Hopefully, we can hold on to this 1-0 lead. It is the Cops, though, who are on the ball off the back of clearing that through their goalkeeper. Gallagher there doesn't quite get on the ball. That's going to be an absolute mouthful of a name to try and pronounce throughout the rest of the save. Now, Downey somehow gets that ball before one of the Cops players do. They do get the ball back there, though, although thankfully Steers, our low knee, is there to tidy things up. And yet again, Downey here will get on the ball. He's looking quite dangerous there up front for us today alongside McCavity. Our two strikers seem to be working well. Good chance there for Stephen McCavity. Puts it in the back of the net, but unfortunately, the referee has his flag up, and that is going to be half-time. Johnston, ball over the top, and it is in fact Downey here who is offside as he does flick that on for his strike partner. But overall, that's a very good first half for us here at Banbridge Town, especially away from home against the team who are expected to finish just a little bit above us on the table. Hopefully, we can grab a cushion goal in the second half. We're going to make one change at half-time. Mark Johnston on that yellow card, not playing that well. We will take him off. Not a good start for a player we're giving £100 to per game, but Gavin Conn can come on for him, and hopefully we can keep this up in the second half and make our way through to the second round of the League Cup. We get things back underway with a 1-0 lead. And just past the hour mark with our next highlight in this one, still on top of the Cops here in terms of stats, and Gallagher gets his head on the end of that ball, and we can continue to do something here on the counter-attack. Alves, who did pick up that assist in the first half, plays that one back to Con, who has just come on from the bench. Good chance there for Downey from that ball over the top, but unfortunately puts it wide, and it does remain 1-0 in our favour, albeit I think we have to do something I was kind of dreading. McCavitt was a little bit tired coming into this game. We'll take him off. It is just the League Cup, and Cassidy can come on for him. Pretty average striker, but we need to save McCavitt for the league games. That is the most important competition this year, because if we get relegated, we do lose our job. And with 25 minutes left, we are still well on top and have a 1-0 lead. And we are in the closing stages of this one. We are going to tell the boys just to slow things down here a little bit in terms of time wasting. Also, we'll be a bit more disciplined. And as well as that, I think we're going to tell our goalkeeper here to slow the pace down when he does get the ball as well. And hopefully that does mean we don't get too many more highlights in this one and can hold on to our 1-0 lead. As well as that, Chris Cowan down to a red hat. We've got another McCavitt on the bench. He's a player with quite a bit of potential, so we probably should give him a little bit of game time in the closing stages of this one. Gallagher, we could also take off, albeit that's a big downgrade, and he is still on a yellow heart, so I think we'll keep him on. Just that one change here in the closing stages, and with 5 minutes left, still 1-0 Banbridge Town. And only a few minutes off the back of that previous substitution, we're going to try and waste a little bit more time here. Adam Campbell down to a red heart. We do have some right back cover on the bench in Jack Barber, albeit not very good cover, but still, hopefully that does waste a few more extra seconds in this one. We also have Jack Steers down to a red heart, but no centre-back cover on the bench, so hopefully he will last these last few minutes and we can get through this one with a clean sheet. In this game won't go to extra time, but a few minutes left in this one now. We do have a throw-in inside the final third, which Barber is taking his time here to put this ball into the mix. Some good work there from the player who has just come on the field, but unfortunately O'Gallagher can't quite link up there with a teammate, but still on the attack. Conley will get a shot off, but all of a sudden it's a chance here for the Cops on the counter-attack. Are they going to steal this one off us? It's a good square into the mixer, and Jake Moore creates something, or gets something out of nothing for them in this game, I should say. They've been very, very average for most of these 90 minutes, but unfortunately, we have just choked there a little bit. Kepper with a nice ball there into the mixer. Not much the goalkeeper can do to keep that one out of the back of the net, quite similar to the goal that we scored in the first half. We are going to turn off all those time-wasting things, which we did implement 5 minutes ago, and it does now look like this one could be going to extra time, albeit the Cops might actually get a chance to win this here in the closing stages. Kepper, some good short passing here as they find their way into our half, and Wilson with a great chance, but thankfully puts that one high and wide to the Cops here, coming home with an absolute flurry. 2 minutes left in this one as Hunter is about to take a goal kick. We'll see what comes from this highlight. And in fact, nothing came from that highlight. It didn't even show us the goal kick. So 1-1 at the end of regular time. As you can see, stats-wise, thoroughly dominated that game. Probably should have had a second goal to close that one out, but it does mean that we are going to extra time here against the Cops. So we'll tell the guys we do not want to let this one slip, because we have actually been the better team. And while we are here, can we make any more substitutions? I think we might take off Rui Alves, having just picked up a yellow card. Liam McGarry can come on for him, and we'll switch him around with Gourlay on the wing. So a bit of a change there attacking-wise. Hopefully a little bit more pace with some fresh legs off of the bench. And hopefully that gives us some sort of edge here as we get things underway in extra time at 1-1. A little bit of a harsh equaliser there late on after we did so well in the early stages or most of that game. But unfortunately, the Cops have just gunned us down there in the latter stages of that second half. But it might be a chance here for McKevitt off of the bench, but just puts that one wide, and still 1-1 early on in extra time. And coming up towards the 10-minute mark in extra time here, and we have a throw-in just inside the opposition half, and keeping the ball nicely here as Barber puts the ball over the top, looking for McGarry. A bit of a fortunate deflection there as we do get the ball back. They head that clear, but yet again McGarry does get possession back. It's a tight angle. Looks like he tries to put that top left corner, but in the end that one goes well high and wide. Steers now is struggling at centre back, but unfortunately we don't really have any cover in that area. But a few minutes off the back of that previous highlight, yet again it looks like we might be on the attack here. So actually playing quite well with this wing play system, and yet again it is McGarry on the ball out on that right hand side, loses possession, but it falls to Cassidy, who came off the bench, of course, in that first half for the other McKevitt. Our star striker makes the most of that error by Owens in the Cops defence, and they gift us a goal there, and that makes it 2-1, and hopefully we can hold on to this scoreline. Bit of a fortunate one, that one. I don't think the goalkeeper was expecting that shot. He blasts it over him, and that gives us a 2-1 lead, just shy of half time here in extra time, and hopefully we get a chance here to make it 3-1 right before the break in extra time. Con with a shot. That one does ripple the netting above the goal, but that will be half time in extra time, and we do have a 2-1 lead. I think we're going to take one of our centre backs off. It won't be Steers, even though he's quite tight. I think we'll take off Kevin Anderson, as we don't want to go down to 10 men for the later stages of this one, with him being on a yellow card. Charlie Doyle, near the club on loan. It can't play at centre back, but can play as a defensive midfielder. So hopefully he can do enough of a job for us here in these last 15 minutes to see us through. And hopefully that does mean we do stay out there with all 11 players on the pitch. And that will do it for substitutions. I think we'll just see if we can take Gallagher off. We can't. That is perfectly fine. We've got 15 minutes left and a 2-1 lead in the first round of this Northern Irish League Cup. And we're about to enter injury time in the second half of extra time. There have been no highlights. Didn't have to bother time wasting that time. I think that might have been what proved the issue in that regular time, the late periods of that. And we pick up a deserved win away from home here against the Northern Irish Police. And we really should have done that inside 90 minutes in the end, as you can tell by the XG and the stats. I do think we had the better of that game. And in the end, we do go through to the next round of the Northern Irish Cup. Albeit, as I said, probably could have wrapped that one up inside 90 minutes. But nonetheless, those are encouraging signs from our first game in charge here at Banbridge Town. Maybe we can just do enough here to avoid a relegation battle, and from there hopefully try and build this squad up to get ourselves into a better position in the Northern Irish football pyramid, or at the very least we can bounce off to another job off the back of completing our National C licence coaching badge, which we have got underway. But that's a good start to our time here in charge at Banbridge Town. We start off with a win over the Cops in the first round of the Northern Irish League Cup. So a good start to our time here at Banbridge Town. We won in the first round of the Northern Irish Football League Cup. Apparently we weren't expected to progress past that round, so already we might be doing better than what the board were expecting. So it could be an early tick in terms of our objectives for the board for this upcoming season. But we pick up a win with our first game in charge, and hopefully we can improve that squad going into the start of the league season, or at the very least in the early stages of the league season, and can hopefully maybe even end up being a mid-table team. But certainly that result does suggest we could potentially have enough about us here to not end up in a relegation battle. But that will do it for the first gameplay episode of FMOE, our first game here at Banbridge Town. If you did enjoy that one, going to extra time and beating the Cops, who doesn't like that, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. In terms of what we are going to come back for in tomorrow's episode, I think it just depends how much I get for off camera. We might come back for a cup game, we might come back for a league game, not entirely sure. The game which we'll try not to come back for is probably the rematch against the Police, but apart from that, we could come back for any of those games in and around that time in late August or September. And by that stage, hopefully the squad would have been improved with a few loans, and we can give you guys an update on how things have been going in the early stages of the league season. So I'm not too sure exactly what game we'll come back for tomorrow, but we'll make sure it's something which could be a little bit interesting, hopefully. And until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.